Hello and welcome to Ball X Pit, a new roguelite city building ball breaker, released just a few days ago, and today we're going to be going over a few builds for the early game that'll get you through that Skeleton King. Now a quick introduction to Ball Pit. About a quarter of the time you'll find yourself in this hub area called Balbilon, the new city of Balbilon, and you're going to be primarily working on expanding your areas so that you can add more tiles to your city to increase your roster of characters and give them additional effects. Most of the resource tiles will have different resources assigned to them of different values. You'll then harvest these resources using an interesting ball breaking mechanic where you fire off your workers and let them bounce around your town, running through and collecting your resources as they will. Most of your game, however, will be spent running through the different levels of the areas underneath Balbilon, where you'll use different balls and effects in order to try to fight your way through the various hordes. Which brings us nicely to the main point of our video, our builds. We'll start off with the Itchy Finger, a disgraced deputy. He has scattered aim but shoots twice as fast and will always launch a ball if it's available, and can move at full speed while shooting. Now this is important because normally the fully automatic mode gives you a speed debuff, but this guy is able to fire off the balls as long as he's touching them, and is constantly able to keep on the move. Now this is an incredible advantage against many bosses because as long as you get the angle right, you can just hammer away until they finally die. Now, unfortunately, the biggest disadvantage of this build is going up against hordes of enemies, because we're not spreading out our damage as much, we're focusing all of our fire into a small cone. But the key to this build will be aiming your balls into those back corners and getting your balls to ricochet around as much as you possibly can, because only then will you spread your damage out enough to take out those groups before you get crushed. Now our next build is something that will still take advantage of rapid fire, but is slightly different. We're going to be using the Repentant. Now that first part of the description isn't very important, but we want to focus on the fact that when your balls hit the back wall, they will return to you and damage every enemy they pass through. Combine that with an AoE ability like Earthquake, or add in Broodmother to get a bit of extra spice, and now every single baby ball that Broodmother spawns will have the same AoE as the original Earthquake ball. Add on Ethereal Cloak with that, where we get balls going through enemies and dealing 25% damage until they hit the back wall. Suddenly, we have penetration going forwards and backwards, and every single ball we hit is immediately returned to our hand so we can fire it back out. Now all you need to do is keep stacking baby ball effects and you'll be able to have damage at all times. Now the biggest disadvantage of this build is going to be going up against single targets like mini bosses. Because our balls are going through the target, we're going to have to wait for them to bounce off the back wall to return to our hand. Now, the one boss that is fantastic to fight with the Repentant build is the Skeleton King himself. Normally, the arms and skull will act as shields to keep the crown from taking any damage, but since we have the Ethereal Cloak ability and the Repentant's built-in penetration, all we have to do is fire straight on, we go straight through the skull, bounce off the wall, and do double damage to the crown. And as you can see, the Skeleton King didn't even get to take on his full health bar before I took him out. I hope that was useful. That's all I've got this time, so I hope you enjoy Ball Pit and make sure to like and subscribe.